This video is brought to you by John Robson Guitar Tuition. If you enjoy the content, please consider supporting the channel by enrolling on a course, purchasing some guitar lessons or a t-shirt, or you can join my Patreon. Now, on with the show. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. Do you remember this guitar? This Epiphone Les Paul Jr. that I reviewed recently? I was just curious to do something with one of these, this type of guitar, you know, the single P90, because everybody says what a versatile instrument this can be. So, and I'd never really checked one out before, so I did the review and I was quite impressed with it. If you missed the review, I'll link to that in the description box. Anyway, when I was shopping for that guitar, I made a video of it, and after that video, the good people from Bax Music, who own the Fazley brand, got in touch and said, we do a very similar guitar to that. Ours is a lot cheaper. Would you be interested in reviewing it if we send you one? So I said yes, and here it is in this box. You know what happens now.
Go on, lad, way ahead.
So here it is. This is the Fazley FSC318 guitar. I suspect they're calling it that because they're not allowed probably to use the word junior in its title. This guitar was sent to me by the good folks at Bax Music. Fazley is their in-house brand. I don't get to keep the guitar, it's only on loan. I'm not getting paid for this review, no money has changed hands, and my thoughts and opinions on this guitar are my own. And I'll tell you exactly what those thoughts and opinions are right after we've heard this guitar in a mix. And as always, you'll find a full tab for that piece of music in both Guitar Pro and PDF formats, along with a clip of me playing it and a jam track for you to play along with for yourself. All of that is up on my Patreon page. There's the address and the link is in the description. $3 or £2.50 a month gets you access to all of these additional resources that go along with these YouTube videos. A massive, massive thank you to everyone who supports me in that or any of the other ways, all of which are linked down below. In terms of guitar tones, I was getting there in that piece as usual usual, I was plugged into the Marshall DSL-1. All of the kind of crunchy and kind of semi-dirty, like the power chordy sort of stuff, and the clean strumming and the clean bits and pieces of lead were done on the classic gain channel of the amp with those settings, and then for the higher gain solos, same settings, just flip over to the ultra gain channel. So there you go. That's what you were listening to. I'll put a link to the full spec for this guitar down in the description, but the headline figures are that you've got a mahogany neck, a mahogany body, the usual 24 3/4 inch scale length, a single P90, 22 medium frets, and unusually a poplar fingerboard. I've never kind of heard of poplar being used as a fingerboard material before, but that is allegedly what we've got here. Let's have a look at some weights and measures for the guitar. There they are. You can see a weight of 3.05 kilos, a nut width of 42 millimeters, pickup DC resistance of 7.09k, and there are the 1st and 12th fret neck profiles. So that's all of that sort of techie stuff out of the way. What's the guitar like then? Well, you heard what it was like. In terms of, the good and the bad points, I'll list them now. It has a low buzz-free action. There are no dead spots on the neck, no choking out, no fret buzz, nothing like that. So, on a guitar that costs less than £100, that is certainly something to be celebrated, because I'm sure we've all played guitars that cost much more than that, where that can't be taken for granted. It has a great, I think, P90 sound. This little pickup here, I've got no information on whether it's an Alnico or a ceramic magnet. I suspect it's going to be ceramic, but, it sounds like a good doggy a P90 should, I think. And on a single pickup guitar like this, you do rely on the volume and tone controls to get the most out of it. You've got no pickup selector, obviously, and they work. The volume control doesn't turn everything into a dark, muddy mess when you roll the volume off to clean up a dirty sound. You still return all the highs, and it functions as I like a volume control on the guitar to function. The tone control works. It is a little bit all or nothing. It's like, you kind of, you're turning it down, nothing's happening, nothing. Oh, there's the kind of tone roll off there in the last kind of quarter or third of the tone controls travel. So it works, but it's it's a cheap guitar, so you can't expect too much. But the neck is really comfortable. No fret sprout anywhere. The fret ends are, I wouldn't say exquisitely finished, but they are finished pretty well. And that old Phil McKnight sock test kind of thing, I suspect this guitar would pass with flying colours. So there's a lot to like about this guitar. So what's not to like then? Well, the tuning stability isn't great. I will be prepared rather to write that off to the fact that it's a box fresh guitar with a cheap set of strings on it. You can always tell when a guitar's got D'Addarios on, because you can see the sort of colour-coded ball ends down there. Well, this doesn't have those, so I'm not saying that only D'Addario make good strings, but that is, when you see that, that's an indication that, oh yeah, they'll put a decent set of strings on. These strings do feel a little bit cheap. And so, possibly we'll write off the tuning stability down to that. The tuners are a little bit lumpy feeling, but once you get the guitar in tune and you've retuned a few times, like I had to retune so many times doing that demo piece, but I think eventually it's settled down. But the tuners do feel a bit sort of lumpen and a bit gritty feeling. The intonation on this guitar was probably my biggest bugbear. When I'd first taken it out of the box and tuned it up, your tuner's telling you, yep, great, you're in tune, you're good to go, and then you start playing some chords up the neck, and you think, that's not in tune. So a little bit of investigation with the intonation. The way you do it, or the way I've always done it on this type of guitar, is you've got these two grub screws here, which you can sort of tilt the angle of the bridge back and forth, get your two E strings in, and then hopefully the compensated kind of lightning bar kind of casting on the wrap over bridge there will kind of hopefully guarantee that the rest of the strings are pretty much intonated. This was a bit of a struggle, a bit more of a compromise on intonation than usual certainly than on the Epiphone that I reviewed a little while ago, which also had the same kind of bridge. The other thing I'll point out as well is if we take a look at the end of the fretboard, can you see it's kind of quite scuffed and there's some fibres that are sort of kind of clinging to the end of the wood there, that's possibly the remnants of some kind of polishing process or whatever, I don't know, but they are there, and you do, when you're looking down at the guitar, you do kind of notice them. So the other thing I would say about this guitar is that it is a cheap guitar, and it does have that indefinable feel of a cheap guitar. You pick up some guitars and they feel proper high end. You can feel like, oh, somebody spent money, time and effort on this guitar and getting it right. And then like other guitars, you can pick them up and think, yeah, this feels like an entry level sort of instrument. It does have that feel, but then again, it's under £100. It costs, if you want one of these, it'll cost you £97. So you've still got room in the budget, I would say, to carry out a few upgrades. I would say bridge, tuners and bridge would be ideal candidates. I wouldn't swap the pickup. I think it's a fantastic sounding little P90 on this guitar. But there's a better guitar in here waiting to get out, and I think just tuners and bridge would be and a decent set of strings. Chuck a set of Didarios or even legacy strings, which I use all the time, and I think you'd notice probably a big improvement in the tuning stability. Compared to the Epiphone, we're going to do a side-by-side comparison of the two guitars in a mix, see how they react to the same setting, so you can hear them properly side-by-side. Compared to the Epiphone, you can feel that this guitar is, as I say, built down to a price, but does the Epiphone feel, because this is about £100, I paid £300 for the Epiphone, does the Epiphone feel like 3 times the guitar? Well, not really. No, you can tell it's a better guitar. It's a more kind of sorted, better put together guitar. But this one, costs a third of the price. It doesn't feel like the other one is. The Epiphone is 3 times as good. So make of that what you will. I would stick my neck out here and say, because of the range of tones you can get, and from the single P90, and the fact that unlike many guitars in the sub £100 price bracket, you actually get functioning volume and tone controls that just don't turn it into a dark, muddy, horrible sounding mess when you kind of start trying to adjust them. I would possibly say that this could be a contender for the best sub £100 guitar that you can buy, especially if you like single pickup P90 Les Paul Junior style guitars. So there you go, folks. Those are my thoughts and conclusions on the Fazley FSC318 guitar. Make of them what you will. And that's the video for today. Hope you found it useful and informative in some small way, and if that's the case, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so. Why not drop me a like while you're at it? Don't forget, as always, the live stream every Friday 5 p.m. UK time, where we drink beer and talk about music and guitars. Great way to kick off the weekend. I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.